Chapter 19. So this is where your base of operation is, said Velgrind to Argent. The two are currently in the special dimension created by Veldanava that will become Argent's headquarters. Hey, if you have any complaints about the design, blame your brother. He made it look like this. Not me, Argent replied, placing the new gate from the information Late gave him. I'm planning a major renovation once I have enough resources. What kind? Asked Velgrind, who was just looking around while Argent went to mark one of the doors. Maybe something more high-tech. I'll use the facility of Twilight and the Magic Empire as reference, explained Argent. Twilight, huh? Velgrind's face contorted in disgust. I don't like him. He's always annoying. I wanted to kill him so many times. Well, at least we can agree on that. Argent finally finished marking the gate. Adding his magicules, he managed to connect the door to the other side. Opening the door, Argent went inside. Will you be coming with? Asked Argent, looking at Velgrind. Why not? She shrugged and followed. The two are currently in the world that Veldanava and Late went to, the place where Newer and Fuxi resides. The two of them went to the mountains that the information said is where Newer and Fuxi lives. The Kunlun Mountains, the place where the couple started their marriage as husband and wife, and their start of the creation of humanity. As Argent and Velgrind flew to the mountains, they saw villages and towns near the foot of the mountain. Those two really did make humanity. At least in this universe, Velgrind muttered. She was given a brief summary of what she should expect to see in here. To be fair, it has been about 50 years since the last time Veldanava went here, replied Argent to Velgrind's muttering. The two then landed on a village in the mountains. They asked around for the two and were pointed to the east side of the top of the mountain. They then went to where they were told the two were, and there was a woman. That must be Newer, said Argent. They saw her creating humans using a rope dipped in mud and swung it around, making blobs of mud all over the place. These blobs then started turning to form into humans. They seem to still be asleep and are in a fetal position. Their age vary from late teens to early 20s. Is that how Twilight did it? Asked Velgrind as she watches with Argent. No, not at all. It should be more complex and less muddy, replied Argent. Who's there? A man said, looking at the two that were hiding. They both stood up from their position. Argent came forward and talked. You must be Fuxi. I am the one called Argent, the one tasked by Veldanava to oversee different worlds. You're the one Sir Veldanava talked about, said Fuxi. He then led Argent and Velgrind to his home. They met with Newer, who was trying to place all of the people in the same spot. They helped her and the four chatted for hours. What will happen to them? They don't seem to be waking up, asked Velgrind as she looked at the people lying on the ground sleeping. Do not worry, Lady Velgrind, they are all safe and will not wake up until I make them, Fuxi explained. It would seem that the creation of humans is the job of Newer, and the one who guides and places them is Fuxi. He also teaches them things they needed to know to survive, like fishing and agriculture. May I ask for the reason for this sudden visit, if you don't mind? Asked Newer, looking at Argent. I needed to mark the place myself, otherwise if something happens that may cause the world to collapse, I would not notice until it is too late, replied Argent. Velgrind was surprised with how Argent was taking his job seriously. She thought he'd just abuse his position or laze around like a certain seraphim when no one is looking. Ha ha ha, you need not worry. We'll make sure that if ever that time comes, we'll handle it ourselves, replied Fuxi. Indeed. We cannot allow you to trouble yourselves with our problems, and if I recall, this isn't the only place that you are overseeing, correct? added Newer. It would lessen your burden to leave it to us. Argent understand where they were coming from. This is their home. It is their problems to fix. I understand. I'll let you handle it. However, if it ever gets dangerous, I will intervene. That is as much as I can compromise, said Argent to the two with a firm tone. They chatted some more and then Argent and Velgrind left the place. Argent was planning on looking around. Since the information he was given doesn't have any humans in it, or their effects on the environment. This is new information from this universe. Velgrind was curious about the universe as well, so she followed Argent. Velgrind kept her pace slower than Argent and has been staring into his back for a while now. That was until Argent looked back at her. What is it? Argent has been sensing Velgrind's stare even when they were talking with the couple. No. It's nothing. I just didn't expect you to have a serious side like that. To be fair, you don't know me that much. The only interaction you've had with me is when you killed me and when we fought. Not much to take in. Argent continued his walk. That may be true, but your personality when you fought was more akin to your race. And that's what I expect you to constantly act. Did she just insult me? And my race at the same time? Or am I imaging it? It sounded genuine too. Well, how about you take this time to know me better? Come on my treat, let's loiter around. Argent showed his purse filled with the currency of the town. Where did you even get that? Asked Velgrind. She never saw the couple give Argent any currency. In fact, the two probably didn't have any themselves. There was that one dude who's been staring at you for a while earlier when we were asking about Fuxie and Newer. I just took it as payment for the show, replied Argent with a grin. Velgrind got angry and tried landing a punch at Argent. He dodged, and they continued like this until they reached the town. They looked around, bought food and some things that even strikes a small bit of their fancy. Normally Velgrind wouldn't care for what the humans created. But she was enjoying the moment and the new things with Argent. Luckily or unluckily for her, she didn't notice it. The problem was for Argent. Yep, can't do it. I know it's rude but the food sucks. Argent complained in a small whisper so people wouldn't hear. About it? You think so? I think it is fine. I mean by their standards since they only started civilization half a century ago, Velgrind said, sitting beside Argent in a shade of a tree. Well, you're right, but eating is one of my hobbies. I'm open to new taste, but food that isn't good is still not good, Argent gloomily said. Then he brightened up. I know. I'll teach them. He stood up and ran to the place they last bought some food. Velgrind could only look at him as he ran. She stood up and followed him while walking. Goodness. He's so childish. A smile creeping its way to her face. The two then started walking all over town, redesigning the recipes of the chefs, changing the ratio used for tofu, teaching a better way to make wine, and lastly a better way to make noodles. People started flocking to Argent to teach them his recipes. And Velgrind just watched in the side eating her share of Argent's cooking. Argent is a very good cook. No wonder he hates the meal earlier. It doesn't even compare to this masterpiece. Then a loud sound was heard. Tremors started happening in the surroundings. The two didn't panic, but the people started running away in panic. What was that? Argent asked to no one in particular. He looked in Velgrind's direction. Velgrind dropped her food when the tremor happened. She wasn't able to catch it because of the panic of the people nearby. She was shaking in anger. Her aura was leaking out. The unfortunate people nearby all died in an instant. A second later, Argent placed a barrier to try to compress and store the magicules leaking from Velgrind. Hey Velgrind! Stop leaking your magicules. I'll just make you a new one later. Quote, really? The magicules that were leaking out disappeared in an instant. Velgrind looked to Argent. Yes, yes, I promise. Argent fell to the ground after. Why is she the one causing chaos? Wasn't that supposed to be what would happen if you give me power? And why am I babysitting her? Isn't that her job? Velgrind then stood up and flew away. Argent followed her to the direction of one of the mountains. Mount Bujo. The place where the tremors started. Velgrind plans to find the culprit and make them pay. Part of the mountain started collapsing. And from the area came a large black dragon. Its form is similar to Velgrind's dragon form, except Velgrind's was more elegant and is red in color. That bastard Zhu Rong almost got me. The dragon talked as it started flying away. Then he sensed beings coming towards him. Who are you? Don't interfere with me. I am the great water god Gongo, slice. As the beings flew past the dragon, its head was cut by the blade held by a woman with blue hair. Silence, Velgrind said as the head of the dragon fell. Its body soon followed, like it just realized that its head has been sliced. As the body fell to the ground, Argent got below it and using his abilities, Predator, he devoured the dragon whole. After reflecting hard when he fought the true dragons, he realized that he couldn't use his skills in maximum efficiency and had to rely on magic instead. That's why he started trying new things with his skill, especially Predator, since it in its own way is a very strong skill. If we disregard the fact that you need to use your mouth to use it, then Argent thought, what can I do to change this disadvantage? Then he had a quick recollection from his past when he was Rimuru. Rimuru was also using Predator for a time. Yet, he used it at maximum potential. How did that happen? He was a slime. A slime is a body that uses all of its cells to do the work of everything. The cells for the body and brain are interchangeable. That's why they don't require sleep. So, Argent captured a slime and ate it. He tried mimicry and it worked. That's why right now, Argent's hands is turned into slime form. And using his magicules increased the volume of the slime to cover the entire dragon and started eating away at it. A new skill? Asked Velgrind as she lowered to where Argent is. Nah. An old one, replied Argent. It would seem I didn't need to come. I apologize for his misbehavior. A person riding a tiger said. You must be Zhu Rong. Apology has been accepted. We've sated our, more like her, anger. Do you require assistance for that? Argent pointed at the hole that shows the heaven falling. We will handle it. Do not worry. We will show you that you don't have to worry about this world. Zhu Rong then flew to the heavens. Argent watched them try and fix the crack in the sky for years and fixing the pillar that will replace the mountain Bujo. He didn't interfere as promised. But he watched. And once he was sure everything was back to normal, he returned to the cardinal world. On a side note, Velgrind got her food after Argent talked with Zhu Rong. To be continued.